Okay, today I'm going to talk about the interesting measures for finding statistical significant and novel clinical associations from EMR, which is electronic medical records. First, I will start talking about what association rule finding is. Then I will start talking about the interesting measures and how we apply it to our data set. Then I will give some discussion and some conclusion about our work and some limitations. What are the limitations? Okay, first, before starting with association rule finding, what's our goal here in this research? Our goal is to find significant and novel associations from EMR. Then, now, what's an association is? In our case, the association is the occurrence of entities manifesting in the real world. And it's typically involves quantification of strength. When we quantify it, we can rank based on it, so we can get the best one. And the notion of statistical significance is called the boundary chance. So we are getting the numerical results and the notion of novelty, unexpectedness, and capability. Okay. Now I'm going to give 3 examples. First example is from our EMR data set, which is the antidepressant and depression. It is, any person can understand these are this type of association between there's an association between antidepressant and depression. Without any expertise. The second example is from the market data set. Well-known example actually is like diapers and beer. The person who buys diapers tends to buy beer. And the last example is from again our EMR data sets like proton pump inhibitors and depression. It's kind of one of our results, and it even show how they are related, how the associations.
So the question here, when you say in the EMR data, you look through different records and you find, in example 1, that there are records that mention antidepressants tend to mention depression. In example 3, you find that there are particular records that have both proton pump inhibitors and depression, and this is actually surprising.
Yeah.
So this one has novelty.
Yeah, that's what it's exactly. And I will show how novel it is, how we decide novelty. Okay. So first, let's say these are all unique items in our data set, and then for each patient visit we have an item set, and then like in our data set we have different patient visits, one to n, like all creates our data set. And we calculate support of an item or item set, the occurrence in number of occurrence in item set in our data set. Okay. Then what's frequent items? Frequent item set is we take even threshold value if the support of an item in our data set is high or equal to our threshold sigma, then we say this is a frequent item. Okay, what's the association rule? Association rule to why we calculate confidence value, which is like support value of E intersect Y divided by support value of just intersect. So we have 2 thresholds, one for confidence, one for support value. These are given, we calculate association rules
size of sigma depend upon the size of your database? It's a limit on a count, and the count, if you have more data, is going to be higher.
Yeah, actually, it's given when the program is done, manually given, and we decided like it needs to be not too big or not too small.
Can you give an example of what value of sigma that you use?
Yeah, I will give actually, and we are using 100 in this case, and we are more than 3 million patient units.
So sigma was about 100.
Yeah, 100.
Now, if you had 10 times as many patient visits, then you might have raised sigma to 200.
Yeah.
So it is dependent on the number of data.
Yeah, we didn't choose two big values because if we choose like 200, 300, we might lose some interesting associations. So we are using another measurements to rank them and prove some of them.
My question is ill-formed. The support function, how does it use E?
What?
In the fourth bullet,
Yeah.
I don't see how E is like. Yeah, but in the.
E is subset of each patient visit.
Okay, I get it.
So
So
E
we are
is,
just counting the item set which includes.
yeah, so if E is depression and antidepressants, then support of ED would be all the patients that had both depression and antidepressants.
So association rule finding like in most cases Y is just a single thing, just one. Generally, it's just one condition. Like we talked about it, actually choosing the threshold values is very important because when we choose two big values, we might miss interesting associations. If we choose too small, we can get too many rules, and it's computationally almost impossible to rank them. There are some well-known approaches, a priori, retrieval, eclipse. There are many more actually, and the performance of these algorithms depends on the total number of visits, which is the size of the database, average number of items per visit, and unique number of items in our data. Okay. What are the issues with the associated rule mining? Why we are choosing it? Why is a single? Number of rules might explode if we choose big or small value. It's kind of middle high state, and it's not practical if we choose. If we try to find all, if we try to examine all results for each concept.
So how do you choose a reasonable Y?
Actually, in our case, we choose Y as a depressive disorder because we have medical examiner. Also, in our data sets, there are lots of examples that to positives. I mean, there are lots of patient visit with depressive disorder, so we choose can give us valuable information.
Okay, so the Y you're usually using is depression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if we fix Y for a depressive disorder, we need to rank them according to some measurements. This can be support, confidence, lift, or chi-square, and we have more. Okay, so how interesting these measurements work in association. Like you can put measures in data mining section, and you can like expand it through line, and you can put it data set which contains more than 3 million patient visits, and we are using support threshold sigma as 100 and confidence is 10%. And
A question about the patient visits records. How do you maintain privacy?
actually, we are not using any name or any private information of the patient. We just have patient ID and the diagnosis and medications.
So even the patient ID is a randomized number. It's not a patient ID he needs to look up in UK universe.
Right. So where are these patients from?
All of UK affiliated clinics and hospitals.
Okay.
So this data set spans a decade.
Yeah, we fixed the Y value as a depression. So, and we are using odds ratio as a proxy for significance and strength. And we use expect assigned novelty score 1 to 5.
What is the odds ratio again?
Odds ratio is the odds of the odds of the I don't exactly know.
It's a probability measure.
Yeah,
of some
probability
sort.
measurement. Yeah.
Okay.
It says. Okay. In our data set, we just use medication and diagnosis codes. And for in that case, like we have more than 1,000 medication codes, multi-codes, and we have almost 12,000 ICD-9 codes. And we group them to medication codes to 150 classes and ICD-9 codes to 282 classes, which are manually assigned by HCAP. We are using the HCAP classification codes. And in our data set, we have like 54,000 visits depressive disorder, and depressive disorder group has 16 ICD-9 codes in the group. But we are using LCM version 3 to get the association rules from our data, and total of the thresholds I told, we have 22 million rules, and then we filter them according to the widest information, and we just remove all associations, includes antidepressant and the antecedent part. And then we have like 75,000 rules of the
How long did it take to run this?
It takes a lot. I don't remember exactly.
Days?
Yeah, I think. Then actually, yeah, the whole run takes days. Then actually, we are using almost four measures.
These are measures of interestingness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, we had some other measures. Measures like from the data mining, we had like average universal frequency, which is also inverse document frequency. Like IDF used to decrease the importance of the type, the word, in the document. We are using this. So when AI, when it's bigger, means the rule is more. And
RR is what?
what
RR. What is RR?
RR means like the relative risk. Odds ratio is very standard measurement of rate of effective studies, and ratio approach relative risk, rate disease assumption tools, and all. Actually, we are using odds ratio lower one, which also includes the standard error one. So, and if it is bigger than one, we are saying that it's significant association. There is significant association between antecedent and consequent, and higher values indicate strong associations. And then we combine odds ratio and KYI-RF together, and we give the penalty of the length of the rule of size.
Go back one, just a second. The length of the rule is being used to normalize. So longer rules are considered less interesting.
Yeah. Because like this is, I mean, in this study actually we get like singletons and length, higher length rules are separate.
Right, so if you find, for example, that diabetes implies depression, that would be a stronger rule by this
Yeah.
than diabetes and toothache and headache implies
Yeah,
depression.
in this case, this is actually specific measurement. We have other measurements also without name. So we are just checking almost all combinations to which one gives better.
So you have 40 standard measures and your own new ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you have a rough idea of what is the typical length? Do you look to see, calculate the average length? I was just curious.
Actually, I don't remember I calculate the length of the rules average length, but I mean,
With the range?
it is changing actually. There were like more, the size of more than 10, and there also was like singletons. I don't exactly remember the average. How to then the interestingness measures, we need how to evaluate these measures. So to evaluate these measures, we also need the medical examination domain expertise, which is very hard to find, and because their time has high value. Their time is high value, and it's limited in general. It's hard to find. And we are taking all the top for each measurement. We are ranking for each measurement. We are taking top 100 rules for each measurement. And we combine these rules to generate a final list to exam, to send to physician. And the total of 550 rules we have for from the nearly 40 measurements, which show us like even if the measurement change, most rules are the same, and just 40% of and then we get the novelty score from our physician to one range.
So, I have a question on that, just to make sure I understand. So sometimes when we're doing our tracing research and they don't have gold standard for the answer set or an expert, then they'll run, say, 20 or 30
that's why we are just taking first 100 of them combined.
So these 550 rules we came up with, those were the rules that made you experts.
Yeah.
So the were actually integrated by more than one measure.
Then we did scoring mechanism for the rules, 500 rules after we get. Now we have two important values. The odds ratio lower one, which is very good approach in this kind of studies, and another one is the expert score. And for each one we get normalized discount cumulative novelty and normalized discount cumulative for odds ratio lower one.
What's
Normalized-
the discount? You already explained normalized.
What?
What's discount?
Normalized discount cumulative novelty is calculated like this. We are taking the first novelty, top one. We are calculating this measure for each measure we have almost scored. And then for all others, we are using the penalty of the rank. Rank of the then we are dividing this ideal BCM to get the normalized BCM. It's same way calculated for NBCM.
So just to be clear, back to James' question, the divided by log 2 of I, that is what? That is the discount that you're talking about. Okay.
Now we can I'm going to talk about the results for singletons. In the case of the NDCM values, we have the AIRF times log, also the log one has the highest score, with 0.88.
So the one you invented is better than the other 40.
Yeah. And the other three of them has the almost same value, 0.87. It's very close. And relatively the information gain has 0.81. But they have very high NDCO. It's normalized this discount cumulative. The odds ratio it's very similar. And Lowinger method is very high in the CN value, but suffer from NDCO value. It's just 0.17.
I have a high-level question for you on that slide. Just thinking about the understandability of your measures. If someone was just reading a document and there were all these different measures that were available and they could read the descriptions of these measures, do you feel like your NDCN at a high level, at an abstract level, would capture this notion of interestingness? Would it be sort of intuitive to a person reading about it and hit their gut and they say, oh, that makes sense, I like this measure. As opposed to these others, the AIRF and the Lovenger. I can tell you that there's certain measures of information retrieval that I read and I say, oh yeah, absolutely, that's exactly what I would have thought. All right, okay, I get that. And then others will think, maybe a stretch.
There is an intuition in this space. So if you actually look at the probability definition, conditional probability, these are all conditional probability ratios in some sense. There is a intuition. So this paper is challenging because there's so many measures we can't
For the longer rules, like we have oscillation mode one divided by log probe of the size of the rule has NDCM 0.93, which is the highest rule. And the other relatively is used to condition means they all have 0.93 on the can see the result also in this figure, which size not weight and what size changing probability. We have like six group of association measurements. We group them together, each has similar values. We also calculated how many public articles has this group we are getting. So combining the mesh terms of antecedent and consequent, we are making a search and we are getting the values here. And with the novelty score of bigger than 3, we have almost 1100, more than 1100, and novelty score higher than equal than 4 is 264, and novelty score is 5. There's only average of 70 articles we are getting, which means we are saying the novel association means it's not well known really, but when you see it, you cannot assume it's proton pump inhibitors is one of our result, like it has oscillation over 110 and not score of 4, means that our methods also takes the kind of values, and we also then two different artists gives groups also show values. It's in line with real.
Again, these are all in association with depression.
Yeah, all of them. And these are the first group of diagnoses. We can it has code from our medical examiner. These are the compromised oxygen flow to the brain and can contribute to the hospital injury in white needle and contribute to the typical depression. For the second group, we can say that affected brain and their treatment with more than likely disturbed neurotransmitter system indicated for depression. And also drug artists and self-injury is observed but not told and disturbed in between information biomarkers. These are the other rules, other similar rules we got with novelty higher than equal 4, and also show higher than 5, also show lower than higher than 5. The limitation of this work is like we only have one consequent to the proof of concept. We didn't include other codes like procedure laws, demographics, to make the data sets feasible. We didn't account for confounders because like using confounders is more like causal associations, and we are not doing it here. We are just doing the correlations. We are doing physical analysis, but we need to do it in patient reports. In our case, like our number of patients is not verified like physical level. We need to follow the bigger data set. Thank you for listening.
Well, we're at the end of the time. If you have questions, I'm sure that Orhan will be glad to answer questions after we're finished. So thank you all for joining us this semester, and look forward to next semester's Keeping Current